In hockey, teams are built from the ground up by drafting. The draft is a crucial event where teams select young players, hoping they develop into key contributors and future stars for them. Some drafts yield franchise-altering players who can lead their teams to multiple Stanley Cups and sustain decades of success. Teams can also swing and miss on highly rated prospects, investing time and resources into players who fail to meet expectations. These misses can set a team back for years, keeping them in the basement of the league standings. The ups and downs of the draft really highlight how crucial good scouting, player development, and a bit of luck are for building a successful team. Every draft pick is a bit of a gamble. I mean, no one is going to be a for sure star. Look at a guy like Nill. The Oilers thought they were getting a future superstar on their hands, but he never broke through and now he's not even in the NHL. So some turn into superstar talents while others can leave a team stuck in rebuilding mode for years. One team who's been historically very good at drafting is the Dallas Stars. In recent years, they've completely turned their franchise around from a sinking ship to one of the best futures in the NHL by drafting players like Jason Robertson, Wyatt Johnston, and Miro Heiskanen. But how'd they do it? Well, back in 1993, the Minnesota North Stars moved to Dallas because they were struggling financially and couldn't draw enough fans to watch their games. And a lot like how the Coyotes ended, the North Stars were just poorly run and they played in a dump of an arena. New ownership tried to turn things around, but the money issues kept piling up. In the end, they saw a better opportunity in Dallas, so they packed up and moved. With the move came a whole new identity. They rebranded as the Dallas Stars and found success pretty quickly. The change of scenery and market gave the team a fresh start and a new fan base to build on. The 1995-96 season began with new owner Tom Hicks. The Stars struggled early with GM and head coach Bob Gainey trading for Joe Nieuwendyk, but ending up with just 11 wins before Gainey stepped down as head coach. Ken Hitchcock took over, but the team still finished 6th in the Central Division and missed the playoffs for the first time since moving to Texas. In the 1996 offseason, the Stars added defenseman Sergei Zubov, who would become a key player for their team. And Hitchcock's first full season as a coach was a success, the Stars reaching 100 points and winning the Central Division. In '97, the Stars signed goalie Ed Belfour, and the team set franchise records with 49 wins and 109 points, won the President's Trophy, and took the Central Division title again. They were the top seed in the '98 playoffs, but lost to the Detroit Red Wings in the Western Conference Finals. In the '98 offseason, after just missing out in the Western Conference Finals, the Stars went all in by adding star winger Brett Hull. Hull had a great career with St. Louis, including 3 consecutive 70-goal seasons, but left after a fallout with the management. And during the '98-'99 season, the Stars had an amazing run, winning 51 games, which was the first time they hit the 50-win mark. They racked up 114 points, a franchise record, won their first Pacific Division after the realignment, and took home a second consecutive President's Trophy. The Stars made their first Stanley Cup Finals appearance as the Dallas Stars, facing the Buffalo Sabres. The Stars finished strong and won Game 6 in overtime thanks to a controversial goal by Brett Hull. This was the only time between '95 and 2003 that a team other than the Devils, Avs, or Wings won the Cup. The next season, the Stars won the Pacific Division again and were seeded second in the Western Conference. They defeated the Oilers and the Sharks in the first 2 rounds and once again beat the Avalanche to reach the Stanley Cup Finals in the second straight year, where they faced the Devils. The Stars lost all 3 games at home, and the series ended in Game 6 with a double overtime goal by Jason Arnott. In the 2002 offseason, Ed Belfour left for the Toronto Maple Leafs, and Marty Turco became the starting goalie. Turco had an outstanding season with a 1.76 goals against average, which is the lowest since 1940. The Stars finished with the best record in the Western Conference, and in the playoffs, the Stars faced the Oilers again, winning the series in 6 games. In the second round, they played the Mighty Ducks, where they lost in 6, ending the Stars' playoff run. The Stars would then go on to lose in the first round for the next 3 seasons, until the '07-'08 season. And from that point on, the Stars kind of just stagnated. From 2009 up until 2013, the Stars missed the playoffs every single time. In that time, the team cycled through 4 coaches and lost a lot of money. And even though they were missing the playoffs, they weren't even doing that bad. They had just above a .500 record every season, so they stayed competitive but never became a contender. And after their final regular season loss of the 2012-2013 season, the Stars fired general manager Joe Nieuwendyk, and the next day, the Stars introduced their 11th all-time general manager, Jim Nill. the former assistant general manager of the Red Wings. This was the turning point for the franchise. Jim Nill was with the Red Wings from 1994 all the way up until 2013, working as the director of player development and the assistant GM. This was the golden era for Detroit, so Nill knew exactly how a championship team was run, how they scouted, how they drafted, how the team culture was. He knew everything from being with one of the greatest teams of all time, and he was bringing it all to Dallas. Nill's first trade was a splash, bringing in Tyler Seguin, Rich Peverley, and Ryan Button from Boston in exchange for Louis Eriksson, Riley Smith, Matt Frazier, and Joe Morrow. Under new head coach Lindy Ruff, and with standout performances from Seguin and captain Jamie Benn, the Stars made the playoffs for the first time since 2008, losing to the Anaheim Ducks in the first round. It wasn't much, but it was forward progress. The team started to coast up until they missed the playoffs in 2017. Now, obviously, the Stars were trying to build a competitive team, so missing the playoffs isn't what they wanted. Jim Nill looked at their roster and didn't like anything about it. He met with his staff and the owner, and they had the conversation of which direction they wanted to take the team. The Seguin and Benn era was slowly coming to an end as players were getting older, and a few mediocre drafts in a row meant that no help was coming up from the system, and they had no idea what to do, but it was looking bad. But the Stars didn't tank that following season. They retooled what they had instead of going to a full rebuild. The Stars got lucky in the draft lottery, moving up from 8th all the way to 3rd overall, and ended up having one of the greatest drafts of all time. Miro Heiskanen, Jake Ottinger, and Jason Robertson. Just like that, the Stars had new life. They didn't know it at the time, but they just drafted a franchise-changing defenseman, a franchise-changing forward, and a franchise-changing goalie, all in the same draft. But that was only the beginning. The first one of those players to make an impact at the NHL level was Miro Heiskanen, who debuted in 2018, and GM Jim Nill knew he selected the right guy after Miro displayed a picture-perfect first shift in the NHL. First, he takes the puck coast to coast and creates a strong scoring chance. Then he gets a scoring chance of his own. Then he breaks up a rush the other way, and then displays confidence with the puck that a 10-year veteran would have.
Over to Heiskanen. Nice little shifty move right there. High Priest a head fakes there to lose a guy. Gets to
His strong rookie season would help Dallas get back to the playoffs for the first time since 2016. Despite the second round exit, it was still a step in the right direction. The next season, Heiskanen played a huge role in the Stars' run to the Stanley Cup final, where they would eventually get taken down by the Lightning. He had 26 points in that Stanley Cup run, the most by any defenseman in the postseason since 1994. The next season, although missing the playoffs, was a huge year for the Stars' development. First off, this season saw the debuts of both Jason Robertson and Jake Ottinger. Robertson was runner-up to the Minnesota Wild forward Kirill Kaprizov in voting for the 2021 Calder Trophy, when he had 45 points in 51 games, including 28 assists and 39 even strength points, both of which led all rookies. Ottinger also had a strong rookie season, but it wasn't his first taste of NHL action. See, in the previous Stanley Cup run, Ottinger actually played 2 periods from 2 separate games for relief of the starter at the time, Anton Khudobin. Come the start of the season, Ottinger was splitting games with Khudobin and posting a .911 save percentage while winning 11 of his 24 starts. So even though the Stars missed the playoffs, they could see the start of a new era in Dallas forming. And during the 2021 draft, the Stars added new players to this mold by drafting Wyatt Johnston in the first round and Logan Stankhoven in the second round. Then Robertson truly broke out. He went on to score 41 goals and registered 79 points in 74 games. And so did Otter. He was 30-15-1 with a 2.53 goals against average, a .914 save percentage, and 2 shutouts in 48 games. Although Dallas fell in 7 games to the Flames in the first round, Ottinger held one of the highest scoring offenses in the whole league to just 13 goals, having a 1.81 goals against average and a .954 save percentage and 1 shutout, highlighted by a 64 save game and a 3-2 overtime loss in Game 7. The next season was Heiskanen's time to break out, as he broke the record for most points in a season by a Stars defenseman, recording 11 goals and 62 assists for 73 points. That same season, Robertson continued on his development, dropping a monster 109-point season, including a 46-goal season which put him 7th in the league. Ottinger also had a career year, posting a .919 and 37 wins. Wyatt Johnston also debuted this season, scoring 24 goals and 41 points. This success would follow the Dallas Stars into the playoffs, as they made the Western Conference Finals before being knocked off by Vegas. This past season was a bit of a regression from all 3 players from the 2017 draft. Robbo regressed to 80 points, Heiskanen down to 54, and Ottinger down to just a .905 save percentage. But they picked it up in the playoffs as Robertson and Heiskanen both posted 16 points, and Ottinger shut the door with a .915 and a 2.24 goals against. Along with Wyatt Johnston's 10 goals, the Stars made it back to the Western Conference Finals, but lost again, this time to the Edmonton Oilers. The Stars haven't won a championship yet in this new era, but they've positioned themselves for long-term success. With key players like Robertson, Heiskanen, and Otter already in place, the recent draft picks have added even more potential stars, and as they keep developing their young talent and bringing them into the lineup, Dallas is on track to build on their recent success and go for the Stanley Cup. The journey's still going, but with where they're headed, the Stars are definitely on their way to making a mark in the NHL.